Yo, Midas. The Figma IPO is happening on July 31st, 2025. If you want the IPO early access, stay to the very end. But disclaimer, everything said in this video is only for educational purposes. Make sure to always do your own research. And this is why you should listen to Midas. Will I beat the S&P 500 by 103x in less than a year? If you want the proof, check out my YouTube description on my link tree. It'll show you the data of my calls, the tickers I invested in, as well as where the call was posted, whether it was YouTube or TikTok, and my total P&L, which is over 4,000%. If you want to take a look at all my stock and crypto picks, check it out on my YouTube description on my link tree. I'm also launching an exclusive Discord community, which will be which will launch on when I have 10K followers on TikTok. If you want to join the waitlist for exclusive alpha for stocks and crypto, as well as join an ambitious community of people who want to become financially free, join the waitlist on my YouTube description on my link tree. But let's get to the video, which is how to buy these hype IPOs early. This is how to buy these big name IPO companies before the average retail investors. So I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you probably missed the Reddit IPO when it was at $34, skyrocketed to $80 in less than a day. Probably also missed the CoreWeave IPO as well, where in just 3 days, CoreWeave went up 340%. But let's talk about the Figma IPO, which on July 31st, 2025. This is going to be a huge IPO play. Stay tuned for my analysis on this company, but I'm very bullish on Figma. The main reason for this is that Figma's valuation was at 16.4 billion right now, but Adobe back in 2023 wanted to buy the company for 20 billion, but was rejected. Or not rejected, but based off of regulatory laws, they weren't able to purchase the company. So therefore, Figma is pretty undervalued, you could say. I'm looking to buy some shares to cap the swing on this IPO hype train. However, I want to put a disclaimer out there that this is not a long-term play for me. I'm gonna hold this for me for a couple of days max, capture the hype swing, and then just dump it because usually when a hype stock IPOs, at that point, maybe after like 3 days, usually people just try to sell the profit, whether it's early shareholders try to take control of the hype, and therefore the stock just dumps. Keep in mind that usually happens for IPOs. So I'm bullish on Figma long term, but this is more of a hype swing trade play right now. But let's understand first what our pre-IPO shares are. Well, these are private shares sold before the company goes public. IPOs have an initial set price before trading starts on the secondary market and gives the first opportunity for the general public to invest in the company. This is typically available to VCs, funds, employees, or accredited investors. Accredited investors are investors who have a certain amount of capital, usually 200K plus to like a million plus. And retail investors can only access these stocks through secondary platforms or special deals, where secondary platforms is that an early investor or one of these accredited investors sell you their pre-IPO shares for a certain price. That is what the secondary market is. So with these pre-IPO investment platforms, this gives you retail access. So these platforms help everyday investors buy shares of private companies. Some platforms require you to be an accredited investor, like I mentioned, meet a financial criteria, but others let you win with lower minimums. Some recommendations of these secondary markets buying from these early shareholders are EquityZen, Forge Global, InvestX, and Caplite. So on Reddit, a lot of people are saying that they have gotten access to this Figma IPO through Robinhood as they're offering pre-IPO access for US residents. So I'm not based in the US, so I don't know exactly how this works, but I believe shares are randomly allocated for retail investors, and Robinhood is giving you access through the primary market. Some other primary market platforms that are only available in the US are SoFi Invest, Webull, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab. But yeah, let's talk about some of the secondary market platforms like EquityZen. Who can access it? It's global, so there's some limitations. Read up on the platform itself. But some notes, you're able to buy shares from employees or early investors with a minimum of $10,000. For Forge Global, who can access also global notes like a private stock market, offers Figma, SpaceX, and many other non-IPO companies right now that you can buy shares of. InvestX, who can access accredited investors, Canadian base, good for high net worth individuals. Caplight, also global, more institutional but expanding access. It has an options-based structure. Now let's talk about account creation and verify legibility for these secondary market platforms. So we first need to create an account, submit your ID and financial info for KYC and slash AML checks. If you're not in the US, you may still be eligible based on your country's laws. Canada, the UK, EU, Singapore, Australia are usually supported. Then search for the company you want, like Figma, CoreWeave, Reddit, etc. You can use the platform's dashboard to search for available shares. Some companies may be waitlist only or have limited volume. You're usually buying from early shareholders, so employee funds, not from the company itself. That is a disclaimer. Like I mentioned, this is a secondary markets. If you want to buy a US company on the primary markets, you have to be a US resident. That would mean buying it on the stock exchange. From there, you need to review your investment terms. Shares are usually sold in bundles, aka $10,000 worth, 100 shares, etc. Check for the valuation, liquidity restrictions, some lockup until IPO, transaction fees could be 3 to 5% ranging, and a minimum investment size. Then fund your account and execute. So wire the funds to your account, sign agreements like purchase agreements, risk closures, and wait for the transaction to finalize. It could take around 1 to 3 weeks. It's a bit of a waitlist process. And then you have to hold until IPO or secondary sale. So your shares are not liquid until a company's IPO date or acquisition. So disclaimer, only invest what you can afford to lock up because it could take a long time if that company just never IPOs. So when the company IPOs, your shares convert and become tradable with or without a lockup. Platforms usually help handle this process for you. And keep in mind that some companies will have a lockup period for IPO shares, so time when IPO shares cannot be sold. This could range from 1 month to around 6 months. And if you have any questions on this whole process, comment them down below and I'll respond when I can. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and like the video. I appreciate the support of all my followers. But this is my tips on this Figma IPO. I'm very bullish on it and how to get early access on different IPOs. If you have any questions, comment them down below. And if you're not based in the US or in Canada and you just want to buy in right at the market open, good luck to all of us. Some of us might have to do this and wish you the best of luck. Set your limit orders in. Make sure you set a stop loss. You don't buy in too high. And yeah, let me know how the experience goes. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.